Good morning, everyone. Good to connect with you again. And I say good morning. You may play this in the evening, but I'm talking from the morning, and it's a good way to stay back from all the busyness, and have a conversation. Uh, some people have told me, well, Father, every great once in a while I watch your reflections. They are so good. I appreciate the affirmation. But I'm so busy, I can only watch them maybe if I can get to watch one a month, even though I know you do it every week. And I can understand that. People need to prioritize. At the same time, not using this as the only indication, a lot of times I think we need to look at, are we getting too busy for some here? I know that I sometimes, well, here's an example. I remember, and maybe this is coming from a religious perspective, from a church perspective, but a woman taught me, oh, Father, she said, I just can't get to Mass on the weekend. I can't squeeze it in all the activities that I'm doing, and it's difficult. And we talked a little bit about that and listened and to be understanding. But I remember saying to her, thinking, I wonder if she'd be willing to go on a retreat. And at first she resisted that because she said to me, oh no, again, there's no way I can take a whole day on a weekend to be on a retreat. I think the idea is wonderful, Lord, and you, Norm, Father Norm, but it's just not going to happen. And I remember talking to her for 2 or 3 years about that. And one of her good friends that she really was close to said something. Oh, go to this retreat with me. It should be a refreshing, renewing experience. So, as she told me after the retreat, she said, so I went. My friend wanted me to go, and I thought it can't be too bad. And it was a weekend where I still had a lot to do, but I could squeeze this in. Well, what she had, as she shared with me, through that retreat, we always talk about retreats maybe being an experience that helps you renew, maybe look at another angle of life, maybe see what's some sort of habit you need to develop to have a more vital, peaceful life. And she, as she told me, she said she realized on this retreat that because she did believe in God and she had some sense of faith, she said that what hit her is she got it. She was trying to squeeze God, church, into a really busy life. And what she realized is that in order to maybe be less busy, in order to be more peaceful, in order to go through a day at a time without being so harried or hurried, that she needed to be part of church. She needed to go to Mass. She needed to have a greater consciousness of God as the source of renewal and peace and joy in her life, not just some more greater interruption that makes her life already too busy. And so I asked her, I had talked to her over the months, because I know a lot of people go on retreat or, got Lent coming up too, and can have these great intentions and can keep them maybe for a week or two and then fall back into the old habits. And she told me when I saw her, she said, well, what happened was she was better. She was more refreshed. She, not just on the weekend, but putting things in order, prioritizing what was important, including her family. In fact, now I'm thinking about a fella who that I heard about from his son. This was a whole nother circumstance, and this fella was saying that. Actually, it was the son. It was the son who was saying to me, oh, my dad is very, very busy. He's got an important job. He has to stay on top of everything. And, and I said, well, do you relate with him? And I said, no, when I see him, he's just always in a hurry. But what he does do, he sees me, because this kid was 17 or 18, and the father sees him briefly at home and says, hey, here, I know I don't get to see you very much, I'm very busy, but here's $10, use it for whatever you want. And he told me that he took it, but he said he thought about it, and he never really told his dad this. And I said, maybe you ought to talk to him and sit down, even in a positive way, because he thought, No, Dad, I want some time with you. Just a little bit of time with you. Somehow, the money, you may think I'm a teenager, I like my, sure I do, but no, just being with you. You're a good dad, you got a great spirit, but you're just too preoccupied with everything else. That family, we don't get to connect with you. So the difference that makes, I want to go back because I forgot to conclude. The woman who had gone on the retreat and her habits were better, and then she slipped back into it. But the good thing, as she slipped back into it and started to get more frazzled again on the weekend, it hit her, in fact, with her friend. Whoa, I fell back into what I don't want to fall back into. So consciously, we ought to be conscious, don't we? I don't need to remember. She was conscious and remembered, and she was able to take some concrete steps, even on her weekend, trying to schedule things out a little bit, including faith and the Lord and church, including going for a walk in nature. And she started to do those things, and she's still doing them, I hope. This has been a while since I've talked to her on a regular basis to plug it in. Another example of busyness that I remember I went through when I was first ordained 50 years ago. I was just very busy, very active. I loved everything I was doing. I was going from early morning to late at night, and I had the high energy and could do that. But again, I went on a retreat, and I may have told you this before, but it's worth mentioning again, that I went on a retreat to just see where the Lord was speaking to my heart. And I thought the retreat would be leading me to some new mission. But what the retreat did, the Lord spoke to me and said, you need to slow down. You're not exercising. You're not taking care of yourself. And here's a key thought. He said to me back then, and I have kept it in mind, self-care is really important. I was going to do everything for everybody else all the time, just give my whole life, spend it all day, every day, making a difference. And I remember God said to me, if you don't take care of yourself, here I was around 29 or 30 at this time. If you don't take care of yourself, you won't really be able to respond and care to others in a significant way. And you'll probably burn out way early. Well, I got that advice. Thank God. I'm not always the most perfect. Well, who's perfect? I'm not always the one who gets everything done when the Lord tells me. But this one, yeah, I started to work out little by little. I started to schedule in, which I still do. And you know, at 75, I could have retired. And probably when I was 20 or 30, I wanted to retire at 50 because, oh, this is just so exhausting. But having the discipline, and part of that discipline is prayer. Letting the Lord speak to me, letting the Lord renew me, letting the Lord put me in my place when I was overdoing it or when I was in some other habit that was unhealthy, like not exercising. And so I've been exercising all these years. I've been praying better all these years, and life is busy. But for me, and I hope for you too, that you can be busy, you can be active, you can be engaged. Well, watch it getting too busy. See if you're getting anxious, if you're getting weighed down, if you weigh, oh man, I can hardly wait to retirement because this is all too much. So right here, right now, let's all take a deeper look. Hey, are you really, really busy in a way that, well, I have to be? Do you? Is there a way with the Lord and with good habits that you can have less of that stress and more, not just quality time, but whatever the time is, you can have more to keep the perspective, to keep alive, to keep vital, to enjoy the gift of every day rather than waking up and saying, oh my gosh, it's Monday and I gotta go to work. Hey, think about it. What might the Lord be saying to your heart? He wants to be busy in all of our lives to help us live a more vital, faith-filled, joy-filled life, experiencing the peace that comes because we're in the midst of a God who loves us and wants to help us through it all. God bless you.